This is the empirical formula by Jessica Mennick. The empirical formula is the ratio of atoms in a compound, which means the most reduced version of the formula. So now we start off with example 1 with some random elements. We have 4 atoms of phosphorus and 10 atoms of oxygen, and we use the least common multiple to reduce that to 2 atoms of phosphorus and 5 atoms of oxygen. Now that we've seen an example with the empirical formula being applied, we're going to use it in an actual problem. So this is problem number 1. What is the empirical formula of a compound made from 57.14 grams of carbon, 6.16 grams of hydrogen, 9.52 grams of nitrogen, and 27.18 grams of oxygen? Remember that diatomic atoms don't apply in the empirical formula. To start off the problem, we have to convert all the numbers we are given into moles. First, I converted my grams of carbon to moles of carbon. And I used my periodic table to find how many grams are in 1 mole of carbon, to then find that the 57.14 grams of carbon equal 4.762 moles of carbon. I do this for the following numbers given. After I convert my grams of hydrogen to moles, I have 6.16 moles of hydrogen. I solved for grams of nitrogen to moles of nitrogen and get 0.68 moles of nitrogen. And lastly, I convert 27.18 grams of oxygen to moles and get 1.698 moles of oxygen. The next step to finding the empirical formula is putting the atoms into the ratios. So we're going to divide all of the atoms moles that we just found by the lowest number of moles that we found. The lowest number of moles we found was 0.68 moles of nitrogen. So we're going to divide all of the moles we found by that 0.68 moles of nitrogen. My ratio of carbon equals 7. My ratio of nitrogen equals 1. My ratio of hydrogen equals roughly about 9. And my ratio of oxygen equals 2.5. So now my old formula of 4.762 moles of carbon, 0.68 moles of hydrogen, 6.16 moles of nitrogen, and 1.648 moles of oxygen turns into, that reduces down to C7H9N1O2.5. But because oxygen has a decimal of moles, we have to multiply each of the moles by 2, so there's no decimals. So our final empirical formula is 14 moles of carbon, 18 moles of hydrogen, 2 moles of nitrogen, and 5 moles of oxygen. Thank you for listening. This was the empirical formula by Jessica Mennick.